Well, good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. I'm looking for something. I will be your way in just a minute. Hope you're having a good Saturday morning. I decided to do a podcast this morning. Something a little different, just kind of smorgasbord of things. So, hope you're having a good start to your weekend. Let's see here. Find something here we could... Something that would be good for this morning. Everybody doing good? Yeah, there's a few of you coming on. Hope everybody's well on this Saturday morning. Hey, Miss Lee, hope you're doing well. Yeah, I just realized the guy that is starting the American Voices has the same last name you do, Britton. I didn't even think about that. How did I miss that? You told me how to pronounce it, and dummy me, I wasn't even thinking yours was the same name. Boy, you talking about being cuckoo. Man, I'm cuckoo. I was trying to figure out how to pronounce Chris Britton's last name. He's starting the American Voice, basically a group. He calls it a militia, but it's basically going to be like a PAC group, political action group. It's going to be a group of people that are patriotic, Christians. I don't guess you have to be a Christian to be a member, but it'd be good if you are. But it's going to be people that'll be willing to help our president and our leaders in a moment's notice if we were to have something like a uprising. And we needed manpower just to be there to help negotiate, to have bodies on the ground, not necessarily armed, ready to shoot anybody, but voices, people with wisdom and people with power and authority. And so he's organizing trying to organize a chapter in every area of the country, in every major city and region. And so it's just getting started off the ground. American Voice, Chris Britton. So I was focused on something else. You're right, Lee. Boy, I'm multitask. I mean, I can do multitask stuff, but honestly, man, for some reason, I couldn't get my head together on that. That was one of them things that I'm just, thought, man, I was having one of those senior moments. Well, I do hope you're all well this morning. I'm doing okay, for Saturday. My wife always asks me every morning, I get up at different times. I came downstairs about 5 this morning. I got my towel because I'm soaking wet. I took a shower a little while ago, and I was trimming my hair. I was standing in the bathroom trimming my hair because it gets so wacky. And I was trimming it, and I'm just soaking wet. It's like a woman in menopause. Man, I'm just wringing wet, and it's just the way it is. But she asks me every morning. I came down about 5, and she gets up for daylight, and she makes up the bed and does a few things upstairs. Sometimes she comes downstairs, and I have medicines. I take vitamins and stuff, and then I make something to drink, a cup of coffee or whatever, and she does too. And we talk a little bit, and then we start doing our getting ready or whatever we got planned. And she always asks me, how are you this morning? And I told her, I said, well, I'm okay, I guess. And I said, well, I'm alive. I said, I guess that's a good thing. She said, well, sure it is. She said, I'm glad you're still here. So that's about how I am this morning. I'm alive. I'm not in great pain today. The Lord gave me a fairly good night's rest. I was up a couple of times, and finally, after I got up at 4, I went back to bed and laid for an hour and watched the clock, and I said, this is ridiculous. So I just got up and came downstairs in my recliner, and I did some reading and finally started getting my act together. Oh, I can't stand this. I feel like I need to change clothes again. I feel like I've been working out in the garden. Whew! So anyway, my biggest problem is not my pain this morning, and I'm not sick as far as sick, and don't have any major, it's just this fatigue. I'm really just still really extreme fatigue. And so I don't know, I got some things I'm thinking and praying. God will give me some wisdom. There's bound to be something somewhere that I can do to get my strength back after this 2 years of cancer. I know the testosterone, my body, they killed all my testosterone, and with the prostate having all the radiation and the chemo directed at that part of my body, that doesn't function anymore. So I know that that's not going to be a thing that I can look forward to it coming back as far as giving me strength again. And I can't take prostate as a hormone because that's the last thing they want, because that's where my cancer feeds off testosterone, prostate cancer does. And so I'm kind of in a catch-22. But there's bound to be something somewhere. I take vitamins. I've got B12 shots I take once a month. I take B vitamins every day. I take loads and loads of vitamin C, zinc, probiotics, turmeric, coumarin, what else? I don't know. I just name them. I take them. I take like 10 or 12 different vitamins. And so, but I just can't get my energy back. And so I'm praying. I need a fan. I've got one, but I got one overhead. I could turn it on, but I don't want to get cooled down too much because that causes my throat to kind of get a little hoarse, and I don't want to clog up so I can't talk. So I'll be okay. It'll go away. By the time I get through, it'll go away. But till then, I'm going to keep wiping sweat. So anyway, got a few things to talk about this morning. So a couple things I'm talking about. Number one, I'm going to start something. It may not be every day, but it'll be a few times a week. I'm going to start doing it'll be just a couple minutes. It'll be a little thing about like my devotional, just a couple, 2 or 3 minutes, at the most 5. But it's going to be about the songs, hymns, and the story behind hymns. Someone suggested that. I put out a thing about any suggestions, things you'd like to hear me teach or do, or some idea you have. And so a friend of mine, she said, why don't you do something you read from the book the other day about hymns, the book I showed you, Revive Us Again. She said, why don't you take a hymn and tell us about hymns and where they came from, the story behind them, how we got them. So I thought it was a great idea. So my granddaughter is doing me a banner now for Facebook so I can announce it, and it's going to be called The Story Behind the Song. The Story Behind the Song. So every couple times a week, I'll have something about a great hymn, maybe once a week. But it'll be a great hymn of the faith, how we got it, who wrote it, what the story behind it is like. It's Well With My Soul, a great story. And so I'll do that. And then some other stories. Somebody suggested different topics, like some of the things we're going through now. So I try to do topics that are current issues or things that we face. And then somebody else suggested things like the different seasons you go through in life, like you go from being young to middle age and then facing senior years, what you go through, some of the things and challenges. And then somebody suggested empty nesters, what it means to go through the time when you and your spouse become empty nesters, all your children leave home, and to know how to handle that and what to expect. And then also the suggestion was about how to build a prayer closet, not necessarily a physical prayer closet like building one, but how to designate a place as a prayer closet and what to do. What do you do in a place when you designate a place and a time that you're going to pray? What kind of things do you do when you have a prayer closet and you meet with God every day? What do you do? How do you do that? I had a dear gentleman that got saved under my ministry years ago, and he is over in North Carolina in a assisted living facility. He's 86 now. And he called me the other day, and he said, preacher, he said, I led him to the Lord. He got saved under my ministry, I guess almost 30 years ago, 30 years ago, over 25 years ago. It was in the late 90s, so close to 30 years ago. And he's just a precious soul. He's a genius. He worked for Texas Instruments years ago. He was an engineer, just a marvelous man, a great testimony since God saved him, a wise, intelligent man. And we've got in some good, deep discussions, but he told me the other day, he said, one problem I've had through the years is being consistent in Bible reading every day, just sitting down and reading my Bible as a devotional. He said, I read the Bible and study because he teaches, and there in the assisted living home, once a month he preaches or teaches there to those people that live there, the patients and the people that are living there. And so he does things like that, and he's good at it. But he says just to have a devotion every day, just sit down and read a devotional book or a couple verses and have a thought. He said, I just have had a hard time. But he said, since you started doing your devotion every day, he said, I listen to that every day. He said, I turned that on and you announce the day that it is, like November the 22nd. And then you announce the verse, chapter and verse, the book. And then you read the verse and then you give a devotional. 2 minutes. And he said, I love it. He said, every day I listen to that every day. And he said, I've been consistent in that every day. He said, that's my devotion every day. So I thought, well, I guess that's a good thing that God let me start that. So that's helping people. And I've got many people that say they listen to it on the way to work every morning, or they listen to it while they're getting ready to go to work in the morning, or they listen to it when they get home in the evening, whatever, but they listen to it. And so I see usually it's anywhere from 300 to 600 views every day. So it's consistent. So that things like that is what I want to do. Things that will aid you that are already faithful fans and faithful friends. But I need to do things that'll draw new people. I need to get up to 10,000 followers and keep going, because I want this to become, I'm not doing it for money making, but because I'm not traveling anymore, this is my ministry, is through my writing and through my social media. And so I can earn money through Facebook and YouTube and Spotify, but it's a lot of work. And I work at what I do on my social media. Some days I put in a lot of hours trying to come up with stuff to go on my Facebook. And when I do, some days I get 40 and 50,000 views. But even though I've had that many views, and last month I had 1.4 million views in the last 90 days. Now it's gone down the last couple of weeks because I haven't done as much. I haven't felt good. Yesterday was only 7,000 views. That's really way down for me. So I've got to keep it up. But even though I'm getting as many views as I am, I'm still not making anything by my post. The only way I make money is through subscription, or if you hit stars and send me like 100 stars or 200 stars. I forget how much they cost. I think 100 stars is $1 or $2, couple dollars. I think 500 stars is like $4 or $5, maybe something like that. So maybe $1 100. But if while I'm doing this, if you would hit stars and send me 100, 250, 300 stars, then I'll get a couple dollars out of that. And at the end of the month, they will pay me. Facebook will pay me. And so now yesterday I got something from Facebook for my subscription, and it was $21. That's not much, but $21, help buy a tank of gas. And so, but I need to get that up to where it's, instead of $21, $2 or $3 or $4 or $500 a month, it would be like having 10 churches supporting me every month, or 10 individuals supporting me. So to do that, I need to get from 250 to 500 subscriptions. It's only 99 cents a month. Most folks can have that taken out of their account and never miss it. It's 99 cents a month. All you got to do is hit subscribe. It'll take you to a closed, secure page. You put in your information, and then every month, once a month, it'll take 99 cents out of your account. You'll never miss $1. That's not even tax on most of what you buy. When you go buy a candy bar at the store, you pay more than that in tax. Or you buy a cup of coffee at Starbucks, tax is almost $1. And so you wouldn't miss that. I don't get the whole 99 cents. I think I get 67 or 69, 70 cents, something like that. It's like 2/3. But Facebook gets part of it and I get the other. So it's not a lot. You say, well, that's not very much. But what if I had, like some people have, they have 150,000 followers. Some people have 10,000 followers. That would be $6,000 a month, $7,000 a month. So I want to get up to where I have 500 to 1,000 followers. That would give me income every month, just like churches supporting me. I'm not going to go to churches. I can't. I'm not physically able enough to go to churches and stand up and say, would you consider taking me on as a home missionary? Because I don't have a ministry where I'm traveling the world. My ministry is social media. So for me to get support, I have to appeal to those that are involved in social media. That's you that are watching and you that are part of my fan base. And so I'm asking all 8,200 followers, you that follow me and you that aren't a follower, that would become a follower, to help me get to the 10,000 followers by sharing everything that I post, everything that I do, every podcast I do, share it with somebody, tag some of your friends, share it, and ask them to become a follower of my page. If everybody that watches me did that, I could reach 10,000 followers in the next 6 weeks, 4 to 6 weeks. And then if everybody that is faithful to my page will just say, I'm going to become a subscriber. I know money's tight and I know everybody's scared of putting your information online, but I promise you it's secure. Put your debit card is secure, and it'll take out $1 or 99 cents a month. That's all I'm asking, $1 a month. If I had 500 people that do $1 a month, that would give me probably 500 people would give me about $300 to $400, $350 a month support. That's not a lot, but that would really help me out since I'm not traveling. And then another way you can help me out, not just subscribe and follow, but also buy my books. I've got one book now on Amazon, but I've got 22 books in all that's going to be on Amazon, plus the ones that I'm starting to write. And so if you haven't bought a book, go to Amazon and get my new book. That's a great way to help me because I get paid from Amazon every 3 months. So everything that's been bought, I think there was, the book got listed the end of November, and I think there was 14 or 15 bought in the end of October, and then in November, we've had, I think, 7 or 8 that's been bought. So I've had about 20-some bought on Amazon, and I've sold about 20-some myself, and I've given away about 10 or 12 of them. And I've got some more that I'm going to mail that I'm fixing to give away to some friends. But if you would just go buy my book, it's on Amazon, In the Shadow of Revival. You can find it on my Facebook page. Here it is, In the Shadow of Revival by Dr. David Harrison. And then you that have bought my book, if you would go to Amazon and write a review, that's how you can help me. I think there's 5 or 6 that's already written reviews, and I thank you for that because reviews will help me now and in the future. What Amazon looks at, they look at sales and they look at response. And if I could have 50 to 100 people that would review my book and leave a comment, that puts a flag to Amazon and could throw me in another algorithm that causes them to promote my products. And that would help me sell more. So become a follower. If you're not a follower, I can't take any more friends. I think I've got 4,950-some friends, something like that. So I don't have room to just 40 or 50 more friends. So I can only take you as a follower, but unlimited followers. But I've got 8,220-some followers as of this morning. But I need to get over 10,000, and that kicks me into a different level and a different algorithm. And then Amazon will start doing some advertising on my page. So when you start watching some of my podcasts, you'll see a commercial every now and then. And I'll make money off of what Facebook will do. They'll run commercials on my page, and that's the way that I'll get paid. And if I have a podcast that goes viral, and maybe does, or a post that goes viral, and say it gets 20 or 30,000 views, well, Facebook will cover that, and I'll get some money out of that, and that goes toward everything that I can do to be a digital creator and producing funds by producing things that people are interested in. Mine is a religious site, and I deal with religious issues, Bible issues, issues facing Christians, and then current events. And then in the future, I'm going to be doing some things that maybe will be of interest to you, hobbies. I'm a woodworker by nature. I work with my hands. God gave me the ability. I can build anything I see. And so I'm praying that God will let me start my wood shop back, that I can go back out sometime after Christmas and the first of the year, start working in my woodworking shop again. And if I do, then I may do some things from the woodworking shop and show you some things that I'm making and how I do that. And how to make things like right now at Christmas, if I was able, I could be making a lot of extra money by making Christmas decorations out of wood and snowmen and signs. I got all the stuff to do that. I just don't have the energy right now. So by next Christmas, I hope to have a bunch of things I can sell at a show, go to a Christmas craft show and put a lot of my stuff on display, and then also put it on a Facebook or a website and sell my stuff on Marketplace. So I can use that too on my Facebook to help promote my page. But I need you to help me. So you can be a follower. You can become a subscriber. It's just 99 cents a month. And you can stop at any time. If you do it 6 months and want to stop, that's fine. Just become a subscriber as long as you can and try to help support us so we can continue building our website. We've got to build a website. I got to build a landing page for my books, and then I've got to expand my YouTube, my Spotify, my Instagram, and also here on Facebook. I've got to expand these sites. So to do that, I've got to hire some help. I've got to hire a tech man that can set all this stuff up and keep it updated for me. I've got to hire somebody that can transfer all of my media from CDs and DVDs and cassettes into MP3 and MP4 so I can put them on Spotify and YouTube and Facebook. So that takes time, and time is money, and I'm limited in what I can do until I get some support. So consider becoming a subscriber. And if you want to become a monthly supporter, you can do that. You can send it in by Cash App. You can send it in by PayPal, or you can get my address off my Facebook page and send it to my address with a check every month. This man I talked about that said that he listens to my devotion every day that got saved under my ministry. He's 85, and he sends me a check every month and supports me ever since I got cancer, and he's still supporting me. And that, a lot of times, if we didn't have that come in, we couldn't have paid our bills, just that extra support. And so that's what I'm asking you to consider doing. Those are some ways you could help us. So those are the things that I want to share this morning. And then some other ideas that people had put out there, that maybe to do a Zoom podcast here sometime in the future, and maybe do some singing, have my family or a family in our church or some friends come over and do a singing. So I'm thinking about, between now and Christmas, of doing a Christmas sing-along that I'll advertise it a week or so ahead. And I'll have some people come over with me, have my son, if he's in town, him and his family, somebody else maybe with a guitar or play the bass, and we'll set up in my house and we'll just sing Christmas hymns. And you can join in with us. We'll have a Christmas worship service on Christmas with the Harrison family sometime here in the next 6 weeks. So I'm planning on that. So be looking for that. And that's something somebody suggested, thought it was a great idea. And so, and then somebody also said, too, to do some things on marriage, some podcasts on marriage, and then on how to love unlovable people, how to get on with people that are difficult. So I've got a lot of ideas, and keep those ideas coming. On that post that I did where I had ideas for fans, give me some ideas, suggestions, anything you come up with you think that you'd like to see or hear or me do, or you'd like for me to teach on a subject, or something you'd like for me to do here on my Facebook page, then let me know. I'm working on getting messages added to my YouTube. There's quite a few on there now, but I've got to go to the office where everything is stored up in the Voice of Hope office. I've got to take a couple days and go through all of the DVDs and the CDs and the cassettes, and then we got to transfer those into digital. And that is so difficult and time consuming. But as soon as we get that done, we're going to start posting messages, more messages on YouTube, probably like the top 100 messages that are from my past that I have copies of, that are the most asked about and the most talked about sermons that I did years ago. And that'll be online forever as long as YouTube remains. And so those are good ideas, so keep sharing those ideas. So pray about becoming a subscriber, just 99 cents. If you're not a follower, become a follower. Share everything that I post, every podcast I post, with your friends, with your family, with people that are not a part of my Facebook. Share with them and ask them to consider becoming a follower, because I need 2,000 new followers between now and the first of the year to get to another algorithm so I can start producing some things that will produce income for me by way of social media. And then some other things. I've got new books coming out. I've been praying for several months since I did the message on depression at my home church a few months ago. And I had so much response. I did a couple Sundays on suffering. And then I went back the third Sunday and did the one on depression. And I've had so much response to that. It's been so many views on that subject that finally God's led me to write a book, and I've got the title. I'm already working on the outline of how we're going to lay it out. I put something on Facebook yesterday or day before yesterday about if you have a testimony of your experiences with depression, or in your family or people that you love that deal with depression. And I've already had 2 or 3 that have sent me wonderful testimonies. I say wonderful in the sense that it's wonderful what God has done for them. It's not wonderful what they went through, but it's wonderful testimonies to see what God has and it still is delivering them through this awful disease of depression. So God's given me a new title and some new thoughts and a new format for a brand new book that's going to be dealing with depression. In this book, we're going to try to get with a national publisher and to get it over the entire nation and around the world. So I'm giving it a title that's going to draw people that are not saved as well as people that are saved. It's going to be a book that's going to reach anybody, whether you're a Christian or not. And so I've got that book, and then I've got several other books that we're working on. I've got a new devotional book entitled Bread from Heaven. The book now that I'm using for my devotion is the ones that I wrote years ago called Water from the Well. It's a 2-volume set, so I'm in the process of redoing this 2-volume set into a 1-volume hardback and re-editing this book, and this will come out sometime next year on Amazon, Water from the Well in 1-volume hardback. Then I'm doing a new book on devotions called Bread from Heaven or Manna from Heaven. And so that'll be the new book, new devotional. And then I've got a couple other books that we have already got outlined. One is geared toward preachers. One is geared toward just word studies and name studies in the Bible, what's in a name. So I've got a passel of stuff to do. Passel, that's a good redneck mountain term. I got a passel of stuff. That means a lot of stuff to do, but I need your help. So pray for me. Be a part of my social media. Be a follower. If you're not a follower, help me get other followers to be a part of my Facebook page. Show them and tell them that I have YouTube and Spotify. I'm on Instagram. Everything I post on Facebook goes on my Instagram page. Also, too, I try to put stuff on YouTube, like my devotion and some of my podcasts, some of my posts, but not everything goes on YouTube yet. It will eventually, but not now. YouTube is just going to be mainly for messages and sermons and songs and music. And so but it's only one of these, so I've got to hire some help. So to do that, I've got to have income. So income means selling books, getting subscribers, and making money through social media. So don't be angry with me for that, and don't think less of me for that. But if I'm not able to travel and I'm going to have a ministry that's going to reach the world, then I have to have income to help me do that. So I have it at my disposal. I've got books that I've written and books that I'm writing. And I've got the platform now to be able to sell them through Amazon and through my social media. But I need to reach more people. And then social media will also help me to make income. But I've got to get to another level. And I'm not there yet. I make money off of subscription. I make money off of stars. If you hit stars and send me 100 or 500 stars, that goes into my account. But where I'll make the most money is off of the post and the podcasts that I do and the reels that I do. If I get large viewership and large response, then Amazon will put me in a different algorithm. They'll promote my page more, and then I'll get some of the more viewers. I'll get more followers. I'll get more people that are lost. I'll get more people that are saved but have never heard of me. I'll get more people that are interested in what I'm saying and the things I'm doing. And then they'll start looking for my books and looking at Amazon. The whole thing will be like a snowball. But it's got to start today. And I said, well, I'm just going to take today and explain to the ones that I have that are faithful viewers, because I need your help. I need you to help me promote my social media. I need you to become a subscriber. I need you to buy my books, and I need you to help share my social media platform. Help me get up to 10,000 followers, and help me get up to 500 subscribers. And advertise, tell people about my book, and go to Amazon and write a review about my book once you've read it, or you've read enough that you can comment and tell everybody what you think of my book. Do that, and I think we'll be okay. Now, is everybody happy? Everybody agree? Give me some hearts or thumbs up or something. If this sounds good to you, I hope I'm not offending you. I'm trying not to. Thank you so much. I'm just trying to be honest and open with you. I want you to hear my heart, because I prayed about all this. I said, Lord, I'm home and I've got all this time, and you've given me the access now to do this stuff. But God, I've got to have some help. So pray God will send me somebody that's good in tech that can do. My granddaughter can design stuff for me. She does all of my posts and my banners and things like that. If you see me put up something that says like, well, you see it every day when I put up the little picture that's green, and I said Tuesday at 9 a.m. She designed that. All the real good-looking stuff my granddaughter designed. And so she designed my layout for my book online, where I posted about it and the price and how to get it through my QR code. So I texted her this morning. She's doing one now on the story behind the song. So I'll post it as soon as she gets it done. That'll be my banner for Facebook. When I start doing the hymnology and the history of hymns, it'll have a banner that'll say the story behind the song. And she's just now 16, but she is a genius in doing stuff like that. But she doesn't have time to keep up my YouTube and my Facebook and my Spotify and my Instagram. Guess why? Because her daddy's got her hired. And she does all of her daddy's stuff. She does all of her daddy's video editing. She does it all. The girl's absolutely marvelous. She's a genius in that stuff. And if she wasn't busy, she would gladly do anything I asked her to do. But my son has her so busy, because my son, you see his Facebook page and YouTube and Instagram, it's just blowing out the seams. Every time he does a podcast, he gets 50, 60,000, 70,000 views. And so all of his stuff has to be edited. She edits all of his messages in meetings. She does camera work, edit work. She does all of his advertisement meetings, set up upcoming meetings. She does all of that stuff. So she's a genius in design and technology, but she doesn't have time to do for me. So I've got to hire somebody. So to hire somebody, that's pretty expensive. To set up, to get a website set up, and to hire somebody to take care of it monthly, I've got to buy the website first. I got to buy the domain. And then I got to hire somebody to set it up. And then for them to maintain it, it's a monthly fee. And so we're looking at hundreds every month, at least, at minimum, a couple hundred a month, 100 to 200 a month minimum, just to keep it updated. The more I do, the more it costs. And then as far as banners and stuff, my granddaughter can do things like that. But as I expand out and do all the other media outreach through Spotify, which is a big outreach, Instagram automatically copies everything I do on Facebook. But YouTube is the one I'm really looking at to get all my messages. And so to get those transferred from cassettes, CDs, and DVDs into digital MP3, MP4, it takes real time. So if the message is an hour on DVD, then you've got to download that into MP4, MP3, whatever you're doing. But if it's a cassette or in the VHS format, for the VHS like the old, video, then it's real time. If it's an hour, it takes an hour to transfer it to some digital format, and then to get it set up in M3, P3, MP4 takes another, every how many, whatever program you're using. I forget which program I use. I haven't used it in a while, but CapCut's what my granddaughter uses in a lot of stuff, CapCut, and there's others. There's quite a few different ones. The one I use is like Zoom or Zip Zoom or something. I forget what it is, but kind of a funny name. But there's all kinds of tools, but I don't know how to use all those. I'm just learning. What I do now is amazing from where I was 3 months ago. But man alive, yeah, I'm looking in the church for somebody that would like to have something to do to help out a ministry. We've got a lot of guys in our church that work out, but our ministry is so big. And, every service we go in, you got screens on the wall that have all the announcements, and you got the youth ministry, you got the bus ministry, you got the Spanish church, you got the senior citizens, you got the choir, you got the music, you got the senior citizens get together, you got all the stuff in the church, the bulletins, the prayer requests. They do all of that. Then our staff in the office is excellent. Our tech staff up in the balcony. The booth up there is probably 25, 30 feet wide. Takes 3 or 4 of them to do everything every Sunday. Video, audio, and all the instruments, all the microphones. I mean, it's just a big. I've done this for over 50 years, and doing meetings, going somewhere, just doing meetings. What it takes just to operate and put on a meeting, and every Sunday in a church our size, we run between 700 and 800. In the Sunday morning service, and that's a pretty good sized church. And then there's probably in Sunday service with 700 to 800 people there. There's people meeting probably in 6 or 7 different places, because you got several different nurseries for the smaller babies and then the bigger babies and so forth. Then you have like the children's church for the preschoolers. And then you got children's church like for the junior age. And then you got teens. They have a special meeting. A lot of the teenagers, not always on Sunday morning, but like on Wednesday night. But at any given time in our church, well, that cleared up my throat quite a bit. In any given time in our church, there's people meeting. You got Spanish church. And then the bus ministry. There's several, 4 or 5 buses that run that bring in 75 to 100 people on the bus. And so that's just the operation. It's just it takes a lot of volunteers, because everybody's not paid staff. The only paid staff is like the main secretary. There may be 2 secretaries that are on paid salary, and then the pastor, and then the assistant pastor, the youth pastor, and I'm sure the custodians are paid, and then I'm not sure who else is paid. The treasurer may get because it's a big budget. I think we take it costs $2 million a year. Because I know our mission budget's $600,000-700,000, and we probably give away close to $1 million a year. I think our budget's about over $2 million a year, 2.5, what comes in. So you write all the checks for all that: light bill, water bill, insurance, gas bill for the buses, and all the printing and stuff that's done, and plus the money they give away. All the missionaries every month are written to mission boards, and all the money given away, and all the expense for materials for Sunday school and children's church and so on and so forth. It's thousands of dollars every week and hundreds of checks. And so we got a great treasurer. We got a great deacon board, great deacons. We got great elders in the church, being that lead our church. We got a great pastor and great full-time staff. But it's a production every service. And I don't mean that facetiously. It's a production of a lot of hard work. People have to use their gifts and talents. So here I am trying to get my little ministry to go bigger and to do more, and I've got to have people that can do that. And so to do it, I don't have volunteers right now that's stepping forward to say, I'll help you, because everybody's got jobs and family. But most of this stuff could be done from their home. Most of the stuff that I need done could be done. I can text them and call them, or send an audio message and show them or tell them what I want, and they can do it from their house. I don't have to be with them. They don't have to be with me. And so I just need somebody that understands me, that has my burden, that wants to help me accomplish the best that I can in the time that I have remaining. Somebody that has some knowledge of what God has used me to do and what I want to do, so they will take it seriously, that I'm not just some old man that's got an unrealistic desire to do something that's impossible. Because what I'm wanting to do is not new to me. I mean, I preached to the thousands and traveled the world. So to want to reach millions by way of social media and have a first-class Facebook, YouTube page is not anything but normal for me, because I've always strived to have the best. I've strived to be the best and to do the best. And so for me to want to have the best to give for the Lord in these remaining years, I want to find those that are talented, male or female. It doesn't matter. If there's a young lady and her mom or dad, or she's married and her and her husband do tech and they want to take over, that's fine. I don't care who it is. I'll pay anybody if they want to volunteer and do it for nothing, that's fine. I'll pay all the expenses of anything they have to get, any apps they have to buy or programs. But to do that, I've got to have support. And so either I've got to raise monthly support by getting folks to send me a check or to give me something every month through PayPal or Cash App, or the easiest way is just to help me build my social media, help me share my Facebook, share my page, get your friends and family to become followers, get me up to 10,000 followers, and consider supporting me by becoming a subscriber every month for 99 cents. And if I can get to 500 subscribers and 10,000 followers, then we'll shoot for the next goal. 20,000 followers and 1,000 subscribers. So then that would be $700 a month on subscribers and 20,000 followers. Depending on what kind of viewership I got, I could possibly be seeing $1,200-1,500 a month, maybe 2,000 some months. That would be a blessing to me and my wife in these last years, to be able to have the same kind of income that I would be enjoying if I was on the road preaching and traveling all the time. You say, well, you don't need that much. Well, I have bills like everybody else. And there's things that I want to do for my family that I can't do because I don't have, and the more I listen, you don't know me that well, but I love to give. I give money away that I don't have. Every time a missionary comes through, I try to mind the Lord and give. How many missionaries have I shook in the last little while and stuck a bill in my hand to give to them? And how many times have I sat in Cracker Barrel or somewhere and bought somebody else's lunch that I didn't even know? And how many times have I gone by, even when I was traveling years ago, I'd be in an airport and I'd see a soldier by himself. I remember one soldier, I was going somewhere, coming home, I don't remember, but I was in the airport and this young guy was probably 19, 20 years old. He looked alone. He had his big duffel bag, carrying it with him over his shoulder. And he was going into a place to get something to eat there in the airport. It's where they sold pizza, whatever. I forget what that big pizza is. Big pizza places all over the world in airports. But anyway, he was going to give him a piece of pizza. And I saw him go in there, and the Lord just said, go up there and talk to him and buy his lunch. So I went by and I stuck my hand out. I said, young man, I said, thank you for serving our country. And he shook my hand. I said, thank you for your willingness to serve. I said, what's your name? And he told me. I said, where are you from? He told me. I said, where are you headed? He was going to somewhere, I think, I want to say Kentucky, maybe to Kentucky, to Fort, whatever the fort is in Kentucky. My mind went blank. But anyway, he's going to Kentucky, going to be stationed there for a while before he's going to be dispatched overseas. So I said, well, I'm a preacher. And I said, I'm traveling back home from a meeting. I said, let me buy your lunch and come sit with me if you've got time. He said, oh, I've got 2 hours. I said, I do too. I said, I said, tell me what you want. Tell me what you want. I'll pay for it. He said, you don't have to. I said, no, I'm buying you lunch. Get anything you want. You want cookies, dessert. If you want something beside pizza, want a meal, we'll go sit down. I said, I'm buying you lunch and we'll go sit and talk. I want to get to know you. And so I did. And then I had prayer with him. And before he left, I had prayer and I shook his hand, thanked him. I said, be safe. And I've done things like that all my life. And even now that I'm retired, so to speak, from that part of my ministry, I still want to be able to do that. I want to be able to walk into a place and see somebody I don't know and just buy their lunch or go up to them and thank them for their service if they're a military. And I want to be able to help missionaries, stick a piece of money in their hand and give to their work. And I want to be able to send money to people that I know that's on Facebook that are friends of mine that are serving in faraway countries. And I want to be able to make enough money off of my books and off of my social media that I can send them a love offering at Christmas. I mean, there's so many things I want to do, but because of being handicapped the last 3 years with cancer and now not being able to travel at all and depending on this social media and selling my books on the Amazon platform as my only source of income, then I need your help to help me get there. So rehearse again, and I'm going to get off of here. How can you help me? I've got 8,200 followers. I need to get to 10,000 followers. Help me by spreading my Facebook page with your family and friends. Send a tag to them over any one of my Facebook podcasts on Genesis or even the one today. It don't matter. Anything that I've done in the last 90 days, send them a tag on something that you enjoyed or a post that I put, something that I've written that has encouraged you or something I've said, send them a tag and ask them to consider following this preacher, that you love him and I'm a blessing. And then if you're not a follower, become a follower. And then every one of my 8,200 and some odd followers, every one of you that will, at least 500 of you today, consider becoming a 99-cent a month subscriber. That's all it is. You hit the subscribe button. I've got it on my Facebook page. I just posted another one a couple of days ago. Hit that link there on the Facebook post. Hit the link. It'll take you to my subscribe section. It'll take you to where you can put your information of the card that's going to come out of. It's secure. And every month, 99 cents. That's all it is. And part of that 99 cents will go into my Facebook account. And every month, once a month, I'll get paid for how much subscriptions I got and how many stars people. While I'm talking now, you can hit the stars. The stars are activated. Just hit the stars. You can buy 100, 200, 250, 500. I think 500 stars are like $5. It's very cheap. And I'll get part of that $5. That's the way. I'm going to give Brother Harrison enough to buy a cup of coffee. So I'm going to buy him 500 stars. Every bit of that will go into my account. And every bit of that will help me do what I need to do to make my ministry go farther than it is now. Pray. Be a part of what we're doing. Consider becoming a subscriber, share my page, and then buy my books on Amazon. If you've already bought one of my books, my newest book, In the Shadow Revival, then go and write a review, a comment, and I would be so grateful. Okay, thank you. Well, this is not what I intended just to do today, but I feel like this is what I needed to do. So I'm going to hit this, highlight this, and get followers to follow this. Because I want everybody that is a follower and every one of my friends, I want them to watch this podcast. Because this is a serious plea from me to you to get you to help me achieve my goal of becoming a successful social media preacher. Since I cannot travel anymore, help me reach as many as I can to do what I can and do all that I can while I can. Wherever I can, help me do that. Will you do that? Will you promise me at least you'll pray about it? And if God gives you peace and gives you the go-ahead, would you subscribe to my Facebook page today and become a monthly subscriber? I'm going to pray. Father, Lord, I've never done this before. Lord, when I traveled for 50 years, Lord, I knew what it was to have to raise money for the ministry or raise money for a tent meeting or a youth crusade. Lord, I've been in churches where pastors were in need because of health issues, and I've raised money for pastors. I've raised money for churches that had debt they were behind on and about to lose their buildings. I've raised money for almost every kind of cause in the church. I've raised money all over the country and around the world. Lord, I've raised support for missionaries. God, I've done all this all my life in the ministry. But God, this is my first time being on social media that I've taken a full podcast to try to reach out to all of my followers and my friends and ask them to support me in this effort to take this social media platform to a bigger level than I ever thought possible. God, I want to get to 100,000 followers. God, I want to be 1 million views a month. Lord, I want to start getting messages from around the world of people that are being saved. God, I've got a dozen or more preachers now in other countries that are asking me to do Zoom calls so that I can preach and teach to their orphanages or to their church congregation. And God, I'm not set up for that yet. I don't know how to do that yet. And God, I've got to have some help. God, you got to send me somebody that'll be willing to either for a small amount of money take care of my technology to get my social platform expanded and keep it updated every month or every week or every day. You've got to send me some people that are willing to volunteer or that would work for a fair minimum cost. God, you've got to give me wisdom to be able to do things that I can't do now. And God, I'm asking you now to burden my 8,200 followers. And God, my almost 5,000 friends, that at least 500 of them will become subscribers. And God, I pray that you'll help me to get 2,000 new followers, that I can get to 10,000 by the first of the year. Then God, I pray, Lord, that you would touch 100 people that watch this to buy my book on Amazon before Christmas. God, that we could sell at least 100 books off Amazon before Christmas. God, even burden some that may want to support us monthly. Whatever you want them to do, help them to respond. God, do whatever I need. I don't even know all my needs, but you know what I need, because you know what you've got for me to do. God, my wife and I talked just a couple weeks ago when I started praying about all this, and I told her in tears, I said, God has left me here for something special. I can't travel. I can't stand up in the pulpit and run and holler and jump and preach like I used to. I can't do tent crusades and youth crusades. I can't do extended revivals in churches. But God, you've got something for me to do, or you didn't call me home. By all rights, I should have already been in heaven. But you healed me of cancer to keep me here. There's a reason. And if this social platform and me writing and making my books available to the world, if that's the purpose, then God, I need supernatural favor. I need supernatural favor in the purchasing of my books. I need supernatural favor in the supporting of my friends and people that don't even know me. I need supernatural favor that my Facebook and my YouTube and my Instagram and my Spotify would explode with viewership over the next 6 months. Now, God, I'm claiming it in the name that's above every name. You see, if we ask in your name, you'd hear us. So in Jesus' name, Lord, promote your word through my lips, through this avenue of social media, and promote what you've done through my life in these 50 years, through the books you've let me write and you'll continue to let me write, and let me be a blessing and continue the work you've called me to do till you call me home. In Jesus' name, amen. I love you all. Pray about becoming a subscriber. Buy one of my books before Christmas. Share my Facebook page with others that need to follow. Help me get to 10,000 followers. Help me reach 500 subscribers. Go to Amazon and write a comment about my book. Tell others about my books and help me get these out to as many as we can between now and Christmas. God bless you. Thank you for your support. Thank you for your love. I love you. Have a good weekend. I'll talk to you soon.